Hello there, friends and enemies, and welcome back to... Today, we're coming at you with another independent card game, Elestrals, and I am actually very happy to be getting into this game. Elestrals follows the same formula that a card game like D-Spirits follows, where it's sort of a mishmash of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. It is a super new card game with the first sets being released this year, 2023. Not much else I can say, so let's go ahead and take a look at the cards. You play D-Spirits with two decks. Your Spirit deck consisting of exactly 20 Spirit cards, and your main deck, which consists of exactly 40 cards of either Elestrals or Runes. Spirit cards are pretty simple, and they usually have a symbol where their text box would be that tells you what type of spirit they are. Elestrals cards have an attack value on the left side of the card and a defense value on the right side of the card, and in between those two is the enchantment cost. We'll talk about that when we get into the gameplay. And lastly, we have the rune cards. The enchantment cost of the rune card is once again in the middle of the card, right above the text box below the art, and to either side of the enchantment cost, you have the rune type, which just tells you what type of rune it is. These are symbols that you will get used to sort of similarly to Yu-Gi-Oh, but not quite as easy as Yu-Gi-Oh. Now that we've gone over the cards, let's take a look at the gameplay. So here we have the Elestrals field setup. We start with our main deck and our Spirit deck. We have 4 slots to play runes in, 4 slots to play our Elestrals in, a stadium area for stadium cards, and an underworld for all of our cards that get destroyed, used, or discarded. After choosing who goes first, we start the game off by drawing 5 cards into our hand. We start the turn off with a draw phase, where we draw the top card of our deck into our hand. You do not do the draw phase if you are the player going first in the game. Next, we enter our main phase, and there's a few things we can do here. One of the first things we can do is cast, ascend, or enchant an Elestral. In order to cast an Elestral, we look through our Spirit deck and choose to cast a Spirit. I'm going to cast Zaptor. We then show the Elestral that our Spirit's going to help us cast. So for this Spirit, we're going to have it cast Electric. So we take our Elestral, we take our Spirit, we put our Spirit under the Elestral, and then we choose to place our Elestral in either attack position in an Elestral zone, or defense position. We're going to leave Electric in attack position. In order to enchant an Elestral, we can choose an Elestral that has already been on the field since the beginning of the turn, and look through our deck for another Spirit. We'll pick Lycoris, and we will attach that Spirit to our Elestral with the other Spirit. In order to ascend an Elestral, we choose a Spirit from our deck, we attach it to an Elestral that has Spirits attached to it, and then we take an Elestral that has 1 enchantment cost more than the Elestral that we have, and we place it over the Elestral and all other spirits that it has. We can also choose to cast or set any runes. In order to cast a rune, much like an Elestral, we have to reveal a spirit from the Spirit deck and play the rune on top of it. Keep in mind that the spirits that you choose from the Spirit deck do have to meet the number of spirits required to enchant the rune, so we're going to pick up a second spirit and put it under this rune as well. You can also choose to set a rune, wherein you take a rune from your hand and place it face down on the field, much like trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! These runes cannot be activated the turn that they are set, and must be activated a different turn after the turn that they are set. You can also choose to change an Elestral's battle position during your turn if you'd like to, provided that they were already on the field at the beginning of the turn. And lastly, for main phase, you can expend a spirit by putting it into your underworld to draw a card into your hand. From there we move on to the battle phase, which works very similarly to Yu-Gi-Oh's battle phase. In Elestrals, you attack with each Elestral individually. So let's start by saying each player has 1 Elestral on the field. If both Elestrals are in attack position, you take a look at the attack of each Elestral. If both attacks are the same, both Elestrals get destroyed. and whichever Elestral had the least amount of spirits enchanting it, that player takes cards from their spirit deck and expends them into their underworld. If one attack is higher than the other, that Elestral gets destroyed, and if that Elestral had less spirits than my spirit, my opponent would expend that many spirits. If one Elestral is in defense position, the attacking Elestral takes a look at the defending Elestral's defense. If that defense is smaller, that Elestral gets destroyed, but no spirits are expended. If that defense is equal to or higher than my Elestral's attack, the Elestral stays on the field, but I do not lose any spirits from my spirit deck. If I attack my opponent directly, they expend spirits from their spirit deck equal to the amount of spirits enchanting my Elestral. In this case, that would be 3. If you're the player going first in the game, you do not get to do your battle phase on the first turn. And lastly, we reach the end phase, where any effects that say end of turn happen here, and we pass to our opponent. You win the game if your opponent's main deck has no cards in it and they need to draw a card, or if your opponent's spirit deck has no cards in it and they need to expend a spirit. And there you have Elestrals. Honestly, I enjoy this game. I kind of don't want to get into it simply because of the number of card games that I've gotten into, but it is, or at least it seems, like a very fun game. I haven't gotten to play the game personally yet, but they do already have early access for their simulator app out, so if you would like to try playing Elestrals, you can actually go to the app and play for free. As I said, it is an early access kind of beta right now, so it isn't super polished, but it is a fun game to play, from my understanding. Price-wise, Elestrals isn't too pricey, but some of their packs do have a premium price attached to it. However, the big problem that has come in, as far as I'm aware, is the shipping costs that they have. Their shipping costs are kind of egregious, but this is something that the creator of Elestrals has said he would be working on in the near future. So we can go ahead and look forward to that coming down, and Elestrals being a pretty standard price card game for the most part. As of right now, with Elestrals being as new as it is, I don't think there's really much else I can say. They're working on free simulators and they're working on making their prices a little bit better. Personally speaking, I think that that should be enough to get you into the game either for free or if you want to buy it for not too much of a price. Overall, while I haven't played the game myself quite yet, I do find the game to be pretty enjoyable. We're going to say that Elestrals, the TCG, is starting off strong with a 7.5 out of 10. That's all I have for today. Thank you for sticking around for this short and simple card game review. I hope you found something to enjoy about this video. Let me know down below how you feel about Elestrals. If you've played it, tell me if it's a good game or not. And if you haven't played it, do you think it's gonna be a good game? Thank you so much for watching once again, and until next time, as always, drink your water.